Well, hi everybody, Marcus here, wishing you a happy Easter. And even though our churches may be empty today, the tomb is empty too. So praise be to God, alleluia, Christ is risen from the dead. And today I wanted to talk about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre versus the Garden Tomb, both of them being locations in Israel and both of them claiming to be the site where Jesus was buried and rose again. So I have been to Israel. I've been to both of these locations. I actually got a special opportunity at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Every day it closes down for about a 3-hour period so that they can replace candles and oils and whatever they need to do for regular maintenance throughout the day. But we were given a private tour for that 3-hour period from Father Samuel, an Armenian priest, very quirky guy, but it was a lot of fun to see some of the places that tourists don't usually get to see at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So the point of this video isn't really to debate the validity of these two places. Personally, I think that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre does have a better claim, given certain historical finds and all of that, and the Garden Tomb was, when it was initially found, was more just thought of, this is a good example of what this sort of tomb might have looked like, but not necessarily connected to Jesus's actual burial and resurrection. But what I want to get at is the preference that a lot of people have for one or the other, and what I think that reveals about our different theological persuasions or maybe our spiritual lives. When you walk into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, it's kind of like sensory overload. There's people everywhere, there's artwork all around you, there's the smell of incense, and it can be somewhat overwhelming. The Garden Tomb is very different. As the name suggests, it's in the middle of a garden, and you go there, there's some people around, but it's beautiful, it's serene, it's quiet. You can actually go into the supposed tomb where Jesus had been laid and rose. Whereas in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, you have to wait in a line to go and reach your hand in and touch part of the rock that was there. So it's a very different sort of feel between these two places. And again, the point of this isn't to argue which one is the valid place of Jesus's burial and resurrection. But I can't help but notice that a lot of people who have been to both seem to say, you know what, I prefer the Garden Tomb because it more matches my image of what it should be like. You know, it's that sense of peace, that sense of that one-on-one connection that you can have with Jesus when you go there. And I think this hints at something interesting about our faith. A lot of us just want this alone, one-on-one kind of intimate encounter with Jesus, which of course we all should have and we all should want. We all should want to be in relationship with Jesus in a very intimate way. But I think the Church of the Holy Sepulchre more accurately represents the life of the church and the life that Jesus has called us to. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, you're surrounded by people, some of them speaking different languages, looking very different from you. And if this is the actual site of Jesus's burial and resurrection, then that's exactly as it should be. It should be filled with people who are all there for the same reason, there for Jesus Christ. It's not just me and Jesus alone, it's all of us. It's not just a time for me to be alone with Jesus, it's everybody come, everybody be here. Yeah, it may smell weird with the incense and so many people in there, and you know, my eyes may be turning to all these different forms of art that are all there, of course, to commemorate everything that has taken place in that spot. But when we say that the Church of the Holy, or the Garden Tomb more accurately represents what we want it to be, I'm wondering if our desires are in the right place. So for me personally, do I love the Garden Tomb? Absolutely. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. But the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has something that the Garden Tomb doesn't. It has that chaotic bent to it that is a part of a communal faith. It has the constant liturgy of the resurrection that's celebrated every day, not just on Easter. That is the one place where the resurrection liturgy is celebrated every single day. And for generations, people have been going to that spot to remember Jesus' death and resurrection, as opposed to the Garden Tomb, which is relatively new. So that's my thoughts on the matter. If you have been to either of these places, please drop something in the comments. Let me know what your experience was like. If it was different from mine, or if you have thoughts on why you prefer one tomb or the other, or which one you think is more historically valid or the other. Again, that wasn't the point of this video, but hopefully that suggests to you that if you're ever in Israel, go to both of them. See what you think, and see how it reflects on or illuminates your own spiritual values. And with that, I will say again, have a blessed Easter. Christ is risen.